Okay, time for my Raw review. I'm going to make this one really short tonight because, honestly, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't one of my favorites. I didn't really care for a lot of it. I don't know why. It wasn't really bad. Like, there wasn't too much bad stuff about it. It's just I wasn't really feeling it tonight, I guess. I don't know. I think the taping whole factor plays a role on it. And the fact that it's taped in English just made it feel a lot less, interesting, if you will. But they kick off the show with Dean Ambrose in the Ambrose Asylum. His special guest is Shane McMahon. They come out there. Ambrose is asking Shane what his agenda is and why he's running the company. Still makes no sense why we haven't seen the freaking Authority over the past few weeks or Vince. It makes no sense for Shane to be running Raw, but whatever. They don't even have an explanation for why he is, which is terrible booking on WWE's part. But Shane says, of course, that he's doing it for the fans and all this. And then he's interrupted by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out and says that Shane McMahon is doing exactly what the McMahons have always done. It's an overpowered, egomaniac McMahon running the company, trying to hold down the top star down, and the top star is Kevin Owens. Then, of course, he's cut off by Sami Zayn. Then they start getting an argument. Then Jericho comes down, cuts them off, and Jericho says that he agrees with Owens. He says that Shane McMahon is an overpowered, drunk McMahon running the company once again. And he never liked Shane in the past. He doesn't like him still. And then they all start bickering, and Dean Ambrose just stand there. And eventually he screams at them and says, "Hey, watch my plan." Which was hilarious. Best part of the segment. Anyways, this ends up setting up for Shane to announce the obvious, which is going to be Kevin Owens one-on-one with Sami Zayn at Payback, as well as Chris Jericho one-on-one with Dean Ambrose. So he announces it. It is now booked. It is official. We've got Dino going one-on-one with Chris Jericho, Y2J, and we've got Kevin Owens going one-on-one with Sami Zayn for about the billionth time. Always awesome, though, and that match should be great. But to kick off the show, we're going to flip-flop partners tonight. We're going to have, or opponents tonight. We're going to have Chris Jericho take on Sami Zayn to kick off the show. And this was a decent match. Chris Jericho ends up taking the win. Sami Zayn hit the torpedo tornado DDT on the outside, which was pretty cool. But he ended up losing because he went for the haluva kick after that, and Chris Jericho ducked it, was sitting in the corner, hiding his face. Sami Zayn was trying to get him, the ref was pulling him back, and then Jericho got up, raked the eyes of Sami Zayn, and then hit a code breaker. So just like that, Chris Jericho picked up a win over Sami Zayn. I was fine with it. It was a decent match. It was cool that Sami Zayn did the torpedo DDT, but other than that, there was nothing really big in this match. Then after that, we get AJ Styles backstage, and he is quickly cut off with Mauro Ronaldo back there, because who shows up? Who? The Bullet Club shows up. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows come back there, and them and AJ, they're catching up back there. They're talking about the last party and whatnot, and about how AJ brought him in there, and I'm thinking, this sounds great. They're actually putting the Bullet Club together. Find out later that it looks like something's going to happen to mess with it, which is going to be terrible, but whatever. Then we get Enzo and Big Cass taking on the Dudley Boys. This was a very decent match. It was very quick, though, but might I add, Enzo might have cut the best promo tonight that he's ever cut. It was hilarious. Cass comes out there. They do their usual promo, and then Cass says, "Hey, diddle, Enzo's got a riddle." And then Enzo lays it down after the crowd was cheering him on for about a minute. He tells him to basically shut up because he's got something to say. And then Enzo says something like, "Okay, there's the word hell and hello. There's the word good and goodbye. And there's the word dud and Dudleys." And then finally he says, and they may be a dud, but there's nothing fake about us. We're not silicone. We're real. We're A-cups. Because at the end of the day, we're real, even if you like us or you hate us. So I thought that was pretty funny. And Byron, of course, had to repeat it later, which ruined the whole thing, but whatever. And this match was decent. Of course, they do the normal shit. I liked how Bubba Ray the whole match was smack talking Enzo when he was beating him down, saying, "Come on, Skywalker," because of course Enzo calls himself the smack talker Skywalker. But I thought this was a very, very good, decent match for what it was. I was very surprised that Enzo and Big Cass defeated him that easily. When they hit Air Enzo at the end there, I thought for sure the Dudleys were going to break it up or they were going to kick out or something. I thought the match was going to go on. I kind of figured Enzo and Cass would defeat him, but I didn't think that they would defeat him that easily. So that kind of surprised me. I was hoping the Dudleys would put up more of a fight. But I honestly think that the Dudleys might cost Enzo and Big Cass the title opportunity at Payback, and then that's where we get Enzo and Big Cass versus the Dudley Boys some more. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Enzo and Big Cass goes on to win. Of course, later we know the Vaudevillains defeat the Usos, which is going to be good. We got Vaudevillains versus Enzo and Big Cass at Payback to decide the number one contenders. They're pushing the NXT tag teams, which I really like. That's awesome. I think it might be a little too soon to push them that far to have them beat the Usos and the Dudleys and qualify just like that. But I mean, I like it for Enzo and Big Cass. For the Vaudevillains, I'm not much of a Vaudevillains fan, but I like what they're doing on the main roster right now, so I ain't going to complain. Then after that, though, we get the Roman Reigns and the AJ Styles segment in the ring where they are booing the ever-living shit out of Roman Reigns. Thank you. It was hilarious. They were booing the ever-living shit out of him, but Roman comes out there and says his normal promo, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. Yeah. That's about 3 weeks in a row that we've heard that shit now. It's the same shit every fucking week. And the crowd was just booing the shit out of him, chanting boring. Hilarious. AJ Styles comes out, cuts him off. I'm very surprised. They end up talking back and forth. AJ Styles has to praise Roman Reigns, of course, and that's... The crowd just gets livid when he does that, which I don't blame him. That was fucking retarded. Fuck you, WWE, for trying to have everyone put over Roman Reigns. No one's going to be able to put over Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns can go fuck himself. I'd rather see John Cena than fucking Roman Reigns on the fucking TV screen any more than I have to. Fuck you, Roman Reigns. Lose the title, please, AJ Styles. The best thing after this happens, though, when AJ's walking off to the back, Doc Gallows and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson come out and they attack Roman Reigns. They lay out Roman Reigns and they walk to the back with AJ. I think everything's fine. We come back from break a little while later, and apparently AJ is having issues now with Gallows and Anderson. They're talking in the back, and apparently AJ did not confront with them, and he did not talk about them, and he did not want them to attack Roman Reigns. So now it looks like they're going to play to where Gallows and Anderson end up attacking AJ Styles at Payback, maybe, because AJ Styles refuses to accept the help of them, which in then return will have Roman Reigns defeat AJ Styles. But then we get the debut of Finn Balor on the main roster, I'm thinking, and the Balor Club arises. So that should be good, and hopefully we get Balor Club versus AJ Styles. And sadly enough, we'll probably get Roman Reigns versus, I don't know, fucking Ryback. We haven't seen Ryback in weeks, but I don't think anyone cares. Then after that, we get Fandango versus Baron Corbin squash match. The whole point of this was to just have Baron Corbin get another win and for them to further the feud with Dolph Ziggler. Because Dolph Ziggler's sitting at ringside, Baron Corbin ends up attacking him, knees him in the face, ends up hitting the end of days on Fandango, gets the win. Dolph Ziggler comes in to confront him, beats him down. Baron Corbin quickly shuts that down and hits end of days once again on the outside on the Dolph Ziggler. Honestly, I think this is going to be a good match at Payback. I think it should be interesting. I don't like the build-up so far. The way they booked Baron Corbin's just, whatever. I mean, but then again, who knows? Maybe that's as good as he is. But I think he's decent, and I think his match against Dolph Ziggler will be good. Then after that, we get Miz TV with Maurice. And this, by far, is the best freaking thing that they could have done for The Miz, by far. I hate that he had to take the belt from Zack Ryder, but at least they know what they're doing with The Miz now. And having Maurice back is pure genius. I don't know if he thought of that or Maurice offered it to him, but that was genius having that happen. But pretty much they just start having a make-out session in the middle of the ring, which was very weird. Just like last week, it's kind of just like, okay. I mean, like, it's just like, whatever, like, what's the point? They're just making out in the ring, and of course that leads to Cesaro coming out, cutting them off. They go on for this promo, semi-hilarious. Miz steals the line from Liam Neeson in the Taken movie and kind of Mizifies it, as he put it. Then Cesaro basically tells him that when his hand goes up, his mouth goes shut, and Cesaro had a quote for him, and it's from the late, great Roddy Piper. And it goes something like this. I came here for 2 reasons. 1, to chew bubblegum, and 2, to kick ass. And, well, then he spit out his bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Offers the fight. Miz cuts him off, says, no, you've got an opponent tonight, man. And it brings out Rusev. Then Cesaro cuts him off, and he says, no, we had it changed up. Me and Shane got changed up in the back before I came out here. Of course, Cesaro's 1 step ahead of him, and he says it's going to be Miz and the League of Nations versus Cesaro, and rips off the shirt, rips off the suit. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Out comes the New Day. We get an 8-man tag match, the first of 2 eight-person tag team matches tonight, which was ridiculous, but nonetheless. This was a very boring match. All I'm going to say is Cesaro and the New Day worked well together, fused well together. I really liked seeing them as a unit working together. It was very entertaining. Cesaro, of course, was the best part of this whole match. Of course, with the uppercut train. Back and forth on Miz and Sheamus. That was great. And then the uppercut to Del Rio on the outside and Rusev on the outside up against the barricades was fucking amazing, too. I thought that was hilarious. And then Cesaro completely just wrecks him. They do the spot, of course, at the end with all the finishers back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it ends up, I believe Sheamus has Cesaro up for that Oklahoma Slam or Ireland Slam, Dublin Slam, I don't know what he calls it. And then Cesaro counters into the Gotch neutralizer and gets the win, 1, 2, 3. Good job to set up for Cesaro to get a win. Then we have the 8 Divas tag, which I don't even give a fuck. It looks like they're pushing Natalya, and she could possibly take the belt at Payback now, because apparently she's going to have Bret Hart in her corner. And she gets a rematch. And in the 8 Divas tag match, there wasn't anything big here. The crowd popped for Paige, of course, but she didn't end up doing shit because fucking Natalya had to win the fucking match. She made Charlotte tap out with the sharpshooter. That's great. Fucking Natalya won. Yay. Now maybe she can win the fucking title at fucking Payback and take it home to her stupid TV show, Total Sluts, and then she can hold that on there while she talks about, I don't know, fucking Tyson Kidd and how he's never going to return to action. They're fucking 29 fucking cats. I don't give a fuck. Fuck this stupid shit. I'm done talking about that match. Fuck you, Natalya. Then after that, we get the Vaudevillains going up against the Usos. Like I said, wasn't much here. I didn't really care. Vaudevillains picked up the win. That was cool. I'm fine with the Vaudevillains. Usos are kind of boring now, but they were kind of boring too before one of them got hurt, and then they came back. They're cool for a few months. They've just been around for a long time and at the top, it seems like, and they just haven't been anything fresh. So I'm not hating on the Usos too much. I like them, but it's just kind of sometimes it's boring. But the Vaudevillains end up picking up the win after a good combo of moves back and forth. Uso diving to the outside, taking out Gotch. And then Aiden English would end up taking control, attacking the injured shoulder of Jey Uso, which got re-injured last week when Luke Gallows, messed it up again. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson drove him shoulder first into the step. And, well, Aiden English ended up driving him shoulder first into the ring post. And then the Vaudevillains would follow it up with the Whirling Dervish to get the win. 1, 2, 3. So now it's going to be the Vaudevillains up against Enzo and Big Cass to decide the number 1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships at Payback. So I think that should be very interesting. Of course, look forward to my predictions video next week. But nonetheless, I think that should be pretty interesting. Then after that, we get a pointless segment between Apollo Crews and Heath Slater that turns up into a match. Apparently the segment was before Raw tonight. So like at 11 or something, Raw started at 2. But before they went out and got something to eat, Apollo Crews was trying to get put into the social outcasts because apparently Adam Rose failed a wellness test or something. I don't fucking. It's retarded. Whatever. So now the social outcast is down to 3 people. Can you really complain? Like, what was Adam Rose like? Was he not in shape enough for you or something? Like, can you really complain? Or was it a drug? If it was a drug test, I can understand that. But if he's not like in shape or something, that's just fucking retarded. With the lack of superstars they have right now, and he didn't look bad. I don't know what the hell the deal was. But when I heard wellness test, it just makes me automatically think that he's not in shape or something, which is just ridiculous. But if it was a drug test, then I understand. But otherwise, that's just fucking retarded. And Apollo ends up defeating Heath Slater. Of course, there's one scary part where Heath rolled through on Apollo after Apollo went for the diving crossbody off the top. Heath rolled through into the cover and almost got the 3. Which, if Apollo would have got put into the social outcast, that would have just killed his career. So I was so happy that that didn't happen. And Apollo ended up winning with the twisting powerbomb thing that he does. We call it cruise control. And of course, we had the main event, which was Kevin Owens one-on-one with Dean Ambrose. This was a decent match. Not going to spend much time talking about it. Best match of the night, though, by far. I was happy that they ended the night with a solo match. And not only to end it with that, but to end it with Dean Ambrose and Jericho in the ring. That was good. That's setting up that feud good, which they need to do that because that feud should be fairly interesting considering the whole Ambrose Asylum angle now and knocking off the highlight reel off the show. I think it should be a very interesting matchup. I know it was supposed to happen at Mania before AJ Styles came into the picture, but now it's happening at Payback, and it should be very good. But one thing to add in this match, freaking Kevin Owens did a diving frog splash off the apron onto Dean Ambrose on the outside. Amazing. Give all the credit in the world to Kevin Owens in this match. He nailed the fuck out of it like usual. But he ended up winning. I mean, losing when he went for the the KO cannonball senton in the corner, and Dean Ambrose would roll out of the way right into and then roll him up right into the Dirty Deeds for the 1-2-3. I kind of expected that. Kevin Owens hasn't got a win in a long time, which is bothering me. Well, maybe he did. I don't even remember. I don't remember when Kevin Owens got his last victory. But that's what I kind of think. But Kevin Owens can stay relevant without winning, which is really good. So, I mean, other than that, this was a decent Raw, like I said. The fact that it was taped, I didn't really care for it because of that. But other than Enzo and Big Cass's promo and that match at the end, the Bullet Club was the highlight of Raw. Them actually attacking Roman Reigns and looking like they're going to line themselves with AJ, maybe. That was probably the highlight of Raw. But other than that, Enzo and Big Cass cut a killer promo. They're moving on to the finals. Bada boom. Realist reviewer in the room. How you doing? No.